The off season is over. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatto. Welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of round one of season 9 of the longest continuously running DW12 series on iRacing today. It's a dark horse racing series presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you tonight from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana for the 9th running of the Dark Horse California 240. As all season long, last season, joining me in the booth is the Catalyst, Andrew Wood. Andrew, good to have you back. I know you've had a long weekend. It is Daytona 24 weekend. We got football games and everything going on, but we took a flash back into last season. Last season was really, really unique. So in fact, you and I have covered roughly 25 races in the Dark Horse Racing Series. In those 25 races, we've had 13 different winners. Dating back to September of 2024, we've had 10 different winners in a row. Now, of those 13 different winners, 9 won for the very first time. 5 won their very first race in Season 7. 4 won their very first race in Season 8. Of the 5 drivers that have won more than once since Season 7, 3 of them are our past 3 champions. We got Eric Schaus, we got Craig Forsyth, who won in the Summer Series, and we had Mark Murphy, who won last season. Of those 3, of course, Murphy, our defending series champion, won his title without a win, ironically, based upon everything just being consistent. So with this said, my first question is, will we see winner number 11? So 11 races, 11 different winners since 2024 and continue to streak. And my second question to you then is, has the name of the game changed from getting wins to just being consistent?
You know, Gary, it's definitely something that is in the back of the drivers' minds, that consistency wins seasons. And speaking as someone who wins very few races in any league that he's done, that would be myself, you always just want to keep yourself in the fight just for that one possible chance to get yourself on the top step of the podium. We did see something very unique last season, though, in Mark Murphy. So the answer to your question 1 is tonight, I do think that we will get a new race winner. The first race of the season is always the most unpredictable, and there's a bunch of drivers that are very, very close to getting their first win but haven't quite gotten there, and the first race of a season always brings that potentiality. So I'm going to say yes, tonight we see a new winner. And in terms of what you're going into the championship with, I don't know. Like, I think you want to win the most races as you can, and there's going to be a time where you're going to start considering points, but it may not be this early in the run. So just go for those race wins and see where the season puts you.
All right, we'll get in tonight's starting lineup here momentarily. And we got one pace lap before we go green, and we are still gridding up here for the 240. And here is tonight's starting lineup. And on the pole, your defending series champion, looking for his first win in the series since 2024. It is Mark Murphy. Right next to him, one of the winners from last season, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, my broadcast partner, LG on the front row. Also one of the winners from last season in row 2, Jeff Highsong, right there next to Miguel. The first of the non-winners. I guess he's going to be best in class right now to start this race, about trying to make this streak continue. Then we got AJ Hobson, another one that's looking for a win for the first time in a while. He's not among those 10. Could he be number 11? Then the Smetana right next to him on row 3. Jari Brubacher, you can never rule out JB. He's on the inside of row 4. Right next to him is Matty Wags, coming off that win in the Elite Racing League's P1 IndyCar Championship at Motegi. He is wanting to get another win and to stop the streak. Remember, he got a win last season here in Dark Horse. Then we have Anderson and Peterson on row 5. Anderson, one of the fastest in practice. Moving on back, we got Hugo Gallas and Mark Amini in row 6. Casey Povolonis, watch him. He's got some race skill. We might see him come from the back. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. First time we've seen him in a couple weeks here on this channel. Good to have him here. He's on the outside of row 7. Then we got Forsyth and Stouffer, teammates, starting at the rear of the field in row 8. And that is our 16-car field. Not a big field, but a modest field. Getting ready to do 120 laps tonight.
I'm actually looking at Craig Forsyth starting all the way back in P15 there. That is very unlike Forsyth. He must have had some issue in qualifying. I'm going to actually try and figure out if he had some potential apron touching or something, because based on the time he has, I don't think he had set up the I don't think he had set up his fast lap properly. So something has gone horribly wrong for Forsyth, but I think that based on how these cars typically run, it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about where you wind up about partway through the race or so. So expect Forsyth and Christopher, who didn't set a time, to be back up towards the front before long.
Here are your winners from last season. Schaus not in the lineup. John Martin's not in the lineup. Matt Wagner in the lineup. Peterson in the lineup. Luis Gonzalez Nunez in the lineup. Stouffer in the lineup. Jeff Heisong in the lineup. Craig Forsyth in the lineup. Chris Albrecht not in the lineup. So most of our winners from last season are here. Of course, Mark Murphy, the defending series champion. He won in the final race of the Summer Series from 2024. We're coming off of corner number 4. Pace car getting ready to duck down, and we are getting ready to go racing here at the old racetrack formerly known as Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. Green flag underway. Season 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series in their DW12s. One more time. Here we go.
Mark Murphy gets out to a great lead already at the start, but I hate to say this, the person who ever gets the pole in these very fast super speedways do not typically convert that to a win. So Murphy's going to try his best to hold that bottom line, which you see him doing right now, and hang on to that lead as best he possibly can.
I tell you what, Craig Forsyth grabbed a little too much of the apron that time and got a little squirrely in turns 1 and 2. I got a little reaction out of me.
Well, we got Stouffer up now, gotten by Craig Forsyth, his teammates, so Stouffer's already kind of on the move right now. We got a nice pack of 4 that have broken off up at the front here. It seems that the speed is really starting to take shape now on lap 2. Everyone's getting the engines revved up for a brand new season, and now it's going to be time to sort yourselves out. And I always say the first race of the season brings so many question marks because people have not raced with each other. People have not definitely seen some of what other drivers can do in this series. So it's going to be kind of a give and take, especially in the mid-pack.
These DW12s a little bit more simpler to drive than the IR18s that you see. A lot of other leagues also in the official races, other than the Dallara Dash. The Dallara Dash still uses these cars on iRacing, but you don't get any iRating there. Those are free open lobby games, or open lobby races. But these very simple. No hybrid. No push to pass, no roll bars, no engine mapping, none of that. It's just you, your left foot, your right foot, your left hand, your right hand, and that's it.
Well, when you drive these cars, it's imperative that you stay in the draft because once the driver starts to pull away from you up ahead, there's nothing you could do in the car based on what you're saying to keep up with everyone. But all these high-speed oval races tend to turn to a little bit of a fuel save after a while, so once the cars fall in line, everyone sort of catches one another and is able to get themselves into a single file line, which we see happening for the most part. Looks like, I believe that was Povolonis that might have touched the wall on the outside. Actually, it was AJ Hobson. Just got to the turn 4 wall, and this track is also very, very big on the wind variation. So if you get a little bit of a wind out of the exit of turn 4, the car's already getting a little bit of dirty air from the cars up ahead of you. And if there's anything that's pushing you up towards the wall, that's going to also help close up the field as well.
Oh, Peter Smetana slides up in front of Guillermo Miguel in turn 4. And you talked about the draft. Now, the draft of these cars not identical to the IR18. Remember the watching that battle here, that's Matt Wagner in the ABC Tools car. But the DW12 is the IR18, and the IR18 is the DW12. And so far in real IndyCar racing, the tub of the IR18s is formerly what used to be the tub of the DW12, and it just has a different aero kit on it. So you would think that these cars would behave differently aero-wise in terms of the draft than the IR18s. IR18s a little bit more sleeker, but the draft envelope of those cars extends further back than these cars. These cars blockier, they should be punching a bigger hole in the air, but it's just the way the code's written for these cars. These cars, the draft envelope's only about 0.6 of a second, so if you have a bad restart or you have to check up someplace on the racetrack, you got to get back in it really early and hope you don't lose that draft because you don't have another 0.6 of a second or more to play with. In that case, you only have 0.6 before you lose a draft, and once you lose a draft, really, it's unless the car in front of you has some sort of issue, reeling that car back in, as you mentioned, Andrew, very, very difficult.
Well, another thing to mention is that the swap draft is a big part of this as well. The leaders that decide to do the swap draft up at the very front of the pack, they can get a little bit more speed to run away from the cars that are behind. And you see that happening right now with the top two. It's kind of a clumsy swap draft as it sits right now, but it's enough that it's starting to pull the front of the pack away from the mid-pack or so. So the drivers up front can work together, get a little bit more speed down one straightaway, make the move into the corner, get ahead, and then on the next straightaway, the next car that has just gotten past gets the draft and starts making its move there. That can increase or decrease the pace based on how things go.
Since 2007, or excuse me, since season 7, I should say that's not been 2007, since season 7, the drivers that have won multiple races since we've been kind of broadcasting here, or at least this team has been broadcasting on behalf of Dark Horse. Stouffer, Mark Cohn, the Watchman, not in the lineup tonight, and Eric Schaus, who won the Season 7 championship. Those they have won the most over that span. They've won 4 times each. Forsythe has won 3 times. Murphy has won twice, but other than that, no one else has won any more than that group of 5 drivers. But this tonight is a fixed setup race provided by the league. It's a 2-mile D-shaped super speedway, or as iRacing calls it, a long oval. We're doing 120 laps, 240 miles, 100% fuel, unlimited tires, 1 fast repair. That's kind of what makes the Dark Horse Series kind of unique nowadays. You don't see a lot of established IndyCar leagues surviving this far into their lifespan with still a fast repair, but there's 1 fast repair these drivers can use. Pit road speed limit's 55 miles per hour. This is the 9th time we've been here over the history of Dark Horse. And the only repeat winner here is Craig Forsythe. He won in Season 6, and he won also in the 2024 Summer Series, which was a 500-mile race. Beyond that, no other driver has won more than once over the history of Dark Horse at Auto Club Speedway. Last time we were here, Season 8, Round 6, we did a 250-mile race, and Chris Stouffer beat Indy Kirkenbauer, the prodigy, by 0.3 of a second. Turner Johnson finished third, about 0.6 of a second back from that. You would think we would have closer finishes here in these cars. Typically, we always have very close finishes here in the IR18, but the closest finish we've ever had here is in Season 2, Matt Wagner over Eric Schaus by 0.08, and that's it. No other close races other than that race. And that was set back in 2021. So it's been a while since we've seen a really, really close race here at Fontana. Meanwhile, up front is Haisung, Nunez, Miguel I want to say Semtana. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Peter, if I'm not, just let me know in Discord. And Matt Wagner now working his way up in the 5th.
You know, one name you're not mentioning there is Mark Murphy. He has dropped down to P8 and dropping even further every lap. So this could be a fuel save technique that Murph has going on. He's very, very, very used to riding these cars and used to running these long, big ovals and everything. So Murph might have something up his sleeve here. You can see he's not really so far behind the leader. He's running in that lead pack, but he is dropping back. And some people might be concerned about that, especially dropping so far in the pack. You put yourself in a much more dangerous situation, but it may be something that Murph is working on to try and maybe game the race and see how things go. It doesn't hurt to just sit behind a bunch of people and save the fuel. He got the point for the pole. You don't need to necessarily lead every lap, but like I mentioned before, it is very tough to get the pole and also win the race. So Murph is doing something a little bit different right now, and let's see if it pays off later in the race for him.
Smetana is now in second behind Haisung. Haisung running that bottom line. Here comes A.J. Hobson. He finished on the podium of the Elite Racing League's P1 IndyCar Championship Indy 500 last season. We know he likes these ovals. He's always a contender. In fact, he's got at least one win here in the league. There's LGN on the high side getting a big run. Here comes JB right behind him.
AJ Hobson is kind of taking all the lines of the track right now. He's going up high, taking that apex down low. As you see, he's doing it again right now. And it's very difficult to try and predict where that car is going to wind up on the exit of the corner, especially if you're trying to set up a pass. But I think where he sits right now, he's sitting right about where he started, where he qualified. But I think Hobson's trying to maximize his track usage and trying to get himself right in that kind of front pack to sitting a little bit more comfortably where he wants to be. Hobson is not a fuel saver typically. He likes to really go for it. Murph gets very close to his rear wing there, and Hobson gets very close there. So Hobson is not someone that's just going to sit by and save the fuel. And looks like we're going three
wide. We were riding with JB there for a minute. Watch him go 3 wide. It's like time to cut to the camera angle. We need to see that. Oh, AJ almost up into the side of Murph, but they keep it off one another. Now we're starting to get a little racy out there.
Yeah, I was mentioning before, there are some people that do the careful fuel save, and Hobson is not one of them. So if there's anyone that's going to generate any sort of excitement here for this top group, it will be AJ Hobson. Murph slides himself back into P6 again, so he's sitting right in that back of that lead pack there, and he definitely has something cooking because now it seems like he's on the move.
Speaking of AJ Foyt, Super Tech, celebrating his birthday last week. 91 years old. He is your oldest.
I was just going to ask, Gary. My goodness, how old is he?
91 years old. He is your oldest living Indianapolis 500 winner right now.
He's still fighting killer bees on that transfer, I imagine.
And the bees will lose every single time.
I think LGN might have had a slight contact with Christopher on the last lap. Yes, going into turn one on the last lap, there was a slight contact there. I think both cars got away with it fine, but Christopher did touch the wall there entering turn one. I'm going to check to see if he has any damage, but Christopher is kind of hanging in there, so I think the car's okay just a little bit. It gets very, very tight quarters when you're racing this situation. Should mention that Christopher did start dead last, so he has moved up to the lead pack, sitting in.
Whoa, Murph up into the wall! We got problems coming down to the tri-oval. Yes. It's Craig Forsyth in the grass, and he hangs on, and he needs to hold on. He's going to lose the draft. He's got Lewis Hayes back there to help him, but he's going to lose the draft.
That's a very unlike Craig Forsyth incident there into the barrier. I think well, now he's lost his draft, so it doesn't matter what the shape.
We're going to watch this again, see what happened. Yeah, we're going to watch it again, see. It's coming right off the corner exit. He's getting a run there. Oh, he hits the wall. He just hit the wall. I thought maybe he got loose on late exit there, and no, he just hit the wall, went up and smacked it pretty good. And I wonder if he has a damage now. Former series champion.
See damage on the car as we sit right now. I'm also checking on Christopher's car. It looks like he got away with his bump against the wall with LGN. But yeah, it's getting when these cars are moving back and forth and trying to find.
Oh, car going to the inside. That is Hugo Gallus in the old Rick Mears throwback, and we are still racing. Needs to get those tires cleaned off and get some grip there, but he is now well behind. So now we're 24 laps into this race, 120 scheduled, Andrew, and I'm beginning to wonder that maybe after about 25 laps or so in a stint that these tires become a handful as Forsyth, now your leader, and puts 2 tenths between himself and Spetana.
It's starting to get to that point where we're going to consider pit stops. I would say in about Man, in the DW12, it's always tough to predict what the fuel safe situation is, but I would imagine around lap 33, 34 is where we're going to see our first group of guys come down. 120 lap race, so you at least have to make it 30 to make it a 3-stopper. And I think that won't be a problem based on how these guys are running right now. But if you make it to lap 30, you could do it on 3 stops. And any time after that is just extra time that you can spend on the track and less time at the end of the race.
So I'm going to say pit stops are probably incoming here. Casey Povolonis very quietly working up from the back of the pack. He gets underneath. Wags slides up the racetrack and has the reset.
We missed Hugo Gallas had an issue about 3 laps ago as well. He got sent to the infield spinning, so Hugo Gallas all the way at the back of the pack right now. He is not as damaged right now, but he is hoping for a caution right now, as is Forsyth and Lewis Hayes.
Back up front, it is Stouffer. Miguel has joined Stouffer. He's going to go underneath, and that Penske throwback, and he gets the position over the 4D Racewear driver. Smetana back to third, Haisong fourth, and the LGN in fifth.
Mark Murphy's sitting in P9 right now. I think he has lost the pack even if we're looking at how things are going for Murphy and his fuel save effort. He could save a little more fuel now, but as we're getting closer to pit stops, it's a better idea for him to get himself back up closer to the front again. But it's kind of broken up a little bit right now. We're talking about the swap draft situation for the leaders. Look at what Stouffer and
Miguel
Guilherme are doing.
Yeah. If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear and respect the stream, please do us a solid.
Starting.
Make sure to, and we got them coming down pit road right now. We have LGN, and that is Haisong. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future P1i Racing broadcasts. Tonight's California 240 and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel, and now race awards and custom championship rings for your own leagues. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. Hitting their stalls right now for the first pit stops of the season, LGN and Jeff Haisong.
So they made it to the end of lap 29. That is very, very close to that lap 30 mark, and I think with the extra pace lap, there could have been a little bit of a blip there. So it looks like we're looking at 30 lap pit stops here, especially if you're really pushing it. Wow, Mark Murphy is getting very, very racy out there and very, very close to. I think that's Wagner that he was very, very close to there, but. Yeah, we're going to have some more cars coming in. That actually a whole trio of
everybody that did not stop yet. You're right. Everybody has not stopped yet. They are coming to pit road right now, coming to lap 32. So they made it past the 30s. So some were able to save like a lap or two of fuel, but everyone had to come in at the lap 31 coming to 32.
Oh, AJ Hobson missed his box. Has to back up, actually make 3 or 4 adjustments to get into his box. It was right up against the wall, so he definitely was too far left. That's going to hurt Hobson, so he is going to definitely lose the lead pack here.
Here comes everybody off of pit road, but here comes Luis Gonzalez Nunez, my good pal LGN, on a full head of steam, and he's going to go around everybody but Guilherme Miguel. Miguel is way out in front of everybody.
That was definitely a really good pit stop for both Haisong and Miguel. They got out ahead of the whole pack. Actually, Haisong is he's there. He's definitely in that mix. But well, man, Wagner's kind of taking the middle of the road there and might have taken Smetana off his game, but Haisong definitely has picked up a few spots there. But yeah, you're right. Miguel is definitely way out there.
He's got himself a 1.5 second lead. It might as well be 1.5 miles at this point. He has broken the draft envelope. So what LGN's going to need, and we're going to look at gaps now because that's exactly what we have on the racetrack is LGN has broken the draft back to Haisong. So Haisong's going to have to work with Smetana and Wagner to reel in LGN. LGN just really needs to make sure that he can maintain his ground behind Miguel, not lose any more. And if the guys behind LGN get to him, then they could all work together and reel in Miguel. But Miguel, now his lead down to 1.4 seconds. So LGN reeling him in just a little bit by a tenth.
Do you have information on the pit stop deltas? Because that could definitely tell the story if you want to see what Guilherme's his pit stop full pit road, what do you call that? The pit road deltas there. To see if his times were that much better than everyone else in the field.
37.9 in the lane, 8.4 in the box. But if you look at Luis Gonzalez Nunez right next to him, LGN was faster. He was in the lane 37.8 versus 37.9, and he was in the box 8.1 versus 8.4. So the only thing that I can think of is really Miguel was able to get on pit road very quickly, meaning that he must have had the fastest time coming up to the cones and must have been one of the fastest coming off. Other than that, his time on pit road says it wasn't that much faster than the car is behind him.
Well, you also have to take into account that when you're pitting with everyone around you, you have to be a little more mindful of different lines that people take into the braking zone and everything like that. That could definitely add to your pit lane time, trying to find your way in and find your way out. So when you pit with everybody else, it's always a little more tricky to make sure that you get the best pit road time. And when you pit alone like Miguel did, that is definitely quite a standing for the new driver of the series here. So the big pack that came in on lap 32, they definitely can go 30 laps. So that is going to be an easy 3-stopper. But can Miguel go to lap 60 this time? Or will he have to come in on 59 and then therefore have to save a lap of fuel? He has nobody to work with right now. So
he's going to be working
full fuel mixed run.
Yeah, he is going to be using the most fuel out there. In fact, LGN is going to be kind of in the same boat. So how much of your attention then, knowing that LGN and Miguel are going to be on full burn, that getting the 30 laps for them might be difficult? How much of your attention turned to this group behind them, knowing that this group back here is saving a great deal of fuel?
Well, it definitely, clean air is king, as we always say in these series. So I think Miguel is thinking a little bit about how much fuel he has in the tank, but at the same time, he is the leader. So he can only hope that there is some drama happening behind him that could break up this strategy a little bit. It is the first race of the season, so you always want to put your name on the map. And I think Miguel is doing that. And I would say just don't even really give a thought to it. Just run your race and see where the fuel strategy takes you from there.
And in case you're wondering what the schedule is for Season 9, well, here you go. This is your Season 9 schedule. We're doing Auto Club here. Then the only race, that's the only race of January. Only race of February is Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it's hard to believe, Andrew, that's the very first time that Dark Horse will be going to Charlotte over 9 seasons. Dark Horse has never been to Charlotte before. Then we'll return to Iowa, go to Michigan, go to Worldwide Technology Raceway, Texas, Pocono, Homestead, Miami, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway once again to wrap up the season all the way in June. So we're looking at the next 6 months of racing here in the DW12s as we got contact on the racetrack between Haisong and Smetana, and Wags was almost in it as well, and a big run for Murphy on the high side after everybody had to check up through there. And I had to get the schedule off the we'll look at that again. I had the schedule up. We will look at this again. We're going to go back and look at that incident. And we'll go back to full speed. And it was just, I think Wag's getting a big run here. Oh, no, actually, it was Haisong. Watch Haisong just gets the arrow push. And then almost Wags in the Haisong there. And then a big run for Murph on the high side. And then here comes JB. Let's go back and watch that a little bit again here. Slow it down and just see what happened again from a different camera angle. And again, I think it's really going to boil down to the car directly in front of Haisong. It's just Stouffer. And it's just a face full of dirty air, and the car just arrow washes up and clips Smetana. I don't think Haisong meant that, but look at Wags have to really slow down and prevent himself from getting into that right rear pod or that left rear pod of Haisong. Otherwise, that would have been more contact as well.
You know, we always have to give a little bit of a nod to the netcode gods out there. There are a lot of instances where cars just hit each other, and it doesn't turn into a big situation that we always imagine. So that was a case where two cars just slightly came together, a little bit of a touch. It's not really anything to worry about in terms of the health of the car. We stayed green, which is always a good thing. These guys are running 200 and probably 15 to 218 miles an hour.
I can show you that.
Lap after lap, and they continue doing that.
Okay, so last lap, 220 for Miguel. Smetana has a really fast last lap. I'm wondering, I don't know why it's showing that for the time being, but we'll see if that clears up. Otherwise, that is a absolute world record of 6,969 miles per hour. So we'll see if he checks it. No, there it goes. 266.5, 266.2 for Smetana. That's a new track record. Okay, it resets. 222.181 for Smetana. So they're still out there at a pretty good clip. In fact, Miguel and Nunez in the 220 range. Stouffer with that swap draft with Smetana, they're able to do 221s and 222s while the leaders are just doing 220s.
I think we got some new fans with that speed that was up there, Gary. I have to say. But yeah, the more realistic speed, you're right. I had ballparked it a bit. I'm glad I was close and didn't make a complete fool of myself. But these cars were running 220 miles an hour at full song, and these cars can still touch at 220 miles per hour and have a little wiggle, and everyone is good to go. And I just want to point out that a lot of drivers in these series get a little bit upset when the internet connection is not the best and there's some contact that happens maybe like a half a car away, and it almost kind of saves itself from what could be a really bad incident when you see situations like that. So everyone's able to continue. No one has a DNF right now. No one's in the pit lane, so we continue on. And Guillermo Miguel is still out front right now, and we should be about 12 laps away from our next pit stop if people want to stay on the 3-stop strategy. Yeah,
that's how fast that we're moving along here. And actually, speaking of fast, LGN creeping in a little bit, and now he's really needs to cut his what's left of his distance to Miguel in half, and he will be in the draft envelope, 1.2 seconds behind. So he has reduced that lead by 0.3 of a second since the pit stops occurred. He's trying to reel him in just a little bit more, inch by inch, little by little. Can LGN get there?
So we were talking a little bit about the swap draft situation in the last stint, and it looks like, as you could see, P3 and P4 are together on the track doing a swap draft. P5 and P6 are doing a swap draft. So they have broken apart into these small little pairs, and they're doing their own sort of speeds and their own lap times in order to break away from that pack. That pack was about 8 cars big about 10 to 12 laps ago.
Back up front, it is Miguel, your leader. We're at lap 50 and about 10 laps away from when we expect the next window to open up for pit stops. If you're just joining us, this is P1's broadcasting coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear. Coming to you from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana for the Dark Horse California 240. We've now completed 51 of 120 laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on P1 will be our open wheel road racing doubleheader Monday night, starting with Mark Murphy defending series champion of the Dark Horse Racing Series. He is out there currently in 5th position. He and Jacob Collins at 7 p.m. With the iRacing IndyCar Open Series Monday night top split, immediately followed by Jacob Collins again and Sophie Connell with the Indy Next Road Series top split at 8:30. So if you like open wheel road racing, then make P1 your home on Monday nights for every night of the week in 2026. Don't miss it. That is coming up here next week. Out front, it is Miguel. Second place is LGN. And then Smetana, Stouffer, and Wagner all swap drafting right now to try to reel in these top 2.
Everyone's kind of staying stationary on the track right now based on their coming out of the pits on the first pit stop. I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of a shakeup. And I'm sure everybody's putting their eyes right now and clicking their black boxes to get themselves ready for the next pit stop rotation here. So it's all going to be about coming onto the pits. I wonder if some of the drivers are going to pit with the person they're swapping with, or maybe the lap before or after. Gary, what do you think?
I think the people that they're working with, I think they're going to come down together. I think they see the need to stick with the person that they're racing with. If you don't come down together, you might run the risk of just getting separated. And I don't think that right now, with so few cars in this race, getting separated is a good thing. You got to at least find a dance partner at this point. The other big thing we're looking at least 3 stops is coming to pit road without getting a penalty, considering that we have not seen any cautions. We've gotten close to seeing them, but yet the caution has not flown yet. And slowing these cars down from 220 to 55, 60 miles per hour on pit road, a lot easier said than done. And really, Guillermo Miguel can throw away this race very easily on his next pit stop by just coming past the cones speeding. As something happened to LGN. LGN getting a black flag.
I was going to just mention that LGN came to the pits early, and he's still in his box. And it looks like there is a little bit of a brake lock up there, so I wonder if he's sped.
Well, he missed the attenuator, but he probably came in hot. And just as I was talking about that is speeding on pit road at a 40-second hold for LGN. Winner last season, one of our races. But he's back working again, so that is an even bigger lead now for Miguel.
Emery Anderson has also taken a pit stop by himself on the track right now, so not able. Gary, we were mentioning in previous big ovals like this, if you pit at the right time and you come out, there is a possibility you join the pack on your out lap, and you could get some draft in order to get some speed back. And I wonder if anybody is thinking about that. It will put you on a situation where you have to save fuel later, but you do get a lot of speed initially when you're racing with other people that have more worn tires. So I'm wondering, that sounds like a Nick DeGroot strategy if he was around right now, but I don't see anyone really going for that if that's the case.
Nick DeGroot, former winner here. He won in Season 5, Round 1 over Matt Wagner and LGN. So Wags and LGN in the lineup. Nick DeGroot, 2-time champion of the Dark Horse DW12 series. Pit stops incoming. Our leader is now completing lap 26, coming to 27 of his stint. We'll see if he comes to pit road sooner rather than later, considering that he has not drafted with anybody in this entirety of this stint since he's come out. He has not had a car to help him. He has not had anyone there to punch a hole in the air, to block anything for him. It has been all Miguel out front right now.
Well, he pit lap at the end of lap 29. It is the end of lap 59 right now. So if he is able to go one more lap, he can do the 3-stop strategy. Right now, it shows that he could do 30 if he comes in on the end of lap 59. But hopefully there's one more in the books, and looks like he's staying out for one more. So he can do the fuel save, and looks like Guillermo could stay out front and do a 3-stop strategy here, just based on that.
High song on pit road.
The pairs of Smetana and Stouffer plus Murphy and Wagner have caught each other, so they're a group of 4 right now, and I wonder who's going to win out of this pack during the next pit stop rotation.
Stouffer won last season. Wags won last season. As we see Smetana coming to pit road, he lights it up. Coming to pit road right in front of him is Miguel, our leader. So Miguel makes it 28 coming to 29 on this stint. He is still past lap 60. So again, if he can get close to 30, get to 90. And then finally, that last stint, you might have to do a little bit of a fuel save. That it's not quite adding up yet, so we'll see. You got to get to 90 or beyond, and for sure to make that last stint with. Oh, Smetana moves past his marks. Now he goes up on the jack. Also, I think AJ Hobson. No, not AJ Hobson. There's another car on pit road, and they had trouble on pit road as well. Marcamini had problem. He just missed his marks.
So we have drivers coming out into the track with other cars that are on the track. So if they're able to get any sort of draft and get speed on the fresh tires, that could really pay off once the whole pit stop rotation helps out. I think Yari was one of those drivers who came out right next to Eric Peterson and had a huge draft coming out of the pit lane. So that could propel him forward maybe about, I don't know, like 150, 200 meters down the track based on where he could be if he was by himself.
There is Brubacher. He is just now 31 laps into his stint, and he should be coming to pit road anytime. Murphy on pit road going down to his marks. He hits him right there. He is 30 laps on his stint. Do we see Yari come down pit road? Yes, Yari, JB making a turn down pit road, slowing down on the apron. Now needs to make his way all the way down pit road to his stall and not miss the marks. You do have the same driver's aid in these cars that you have in the IR18s. You do have the pit road speed limiter that you can hit. It's one of the few tools available to you in the DW12. And he hits his marks spot on, goes up on the air jacks. That should turn the lead back over to Miguel. Miguel coming off of corner number 4 down the front straightaway while Yari Brubacher is sitting still on pit road and move Miguel back up to the point. But his lead has been cut into just a little bit. Actually, no, he extends his lead by he doubles it, really. And the reason why, I'm not real sure what the reason why, but he doubles it. It went from like 1.6 to 2.3.
Well, that was 1.6 over LGN, if you remember. And
yeah,
it was another 1.5 seconds back to Chris Stouffer. So it is a net gain on the leader from Stouffer and the pack that's with him. So it was about a 3 and change lead. Now it's a 2.1 second lead. So now
I'm glad somebody's paying attention.
Yeah, I do my best, Gary. I do my best. So we have Murphy, Wagner, Stouffer, 3 iconic DW12 drivers that are chasing down the rookie in his first race, if I believe, Guillermo Miguel, that's in the lead right now. And we've been all green all the way past halfway.
It's funny how you call this iconic. That was the name of the program that IndyCar called the DW12 development program, was the Iconic program.
Wow, that brings me back. And you're absolutely right. I remember that.
Guillermo Miguel, let's see. You're right. This is his first ever start in the series. He doesn't have any other starts registered that I see in the database. So, looking to go get a win in his first start, along the same lines of Nigel Mansell and Buzz Calkins.
I don't know what Stouffer was doing on the front.
I don't know either.
Back and forth. Is that a please pass me moment or a I'm bored, watch me kind of moment? I'm not really sure, but we're not really going to do any sort of issue to catch the front person. But I mean, there's no really reason to save fuel here. We're on a 30 lap rotation, and no one seems to want to pass Stouffer. So I think he's more frustrated than anything that nobody is trying to pass him and close in that gap on the leader.
And that's forcing Stouffer to use more fuel.
Well, I'm not really sure if that's a problem, Gary. We have Guillermo Miguel that went 31 laps on the last run all by himself. himself. So I don't think fuel is the problem. So what is the reason that Stouffer is sitting like a sitting duck in P2 right now with these guys sitting behind him? I really can't tell why.
I show Miguel at 29 laps on the last stint. Hey, we could be wrong. I don't know.
I believe he pit on lap 29 and then pit on lap 60, which would make 31, if I'm not mistaken.
Different overlays giving different information. Yeah, I show him lap 61.
It's not an overlay.
Okay.
It's my brain.
Oh.
This is memory.
All right. Well, my brain cannot do that. I have to make room for other information in there sometimes. Lap 70 of 120. We're 10 laps past the halfway point in the opening race of the season of season 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series in our DW12 series, sponsored by and presented by 4D Racewear. As Gary Miguel has led pretty much for the entire second stint and now the first part of the third stint here, as he has himself a 3.1 second lead over Stouffer and Mark Murphy.
And going back to this trio here, Gary, I mean, Stouffer has a point. It was a 2.1 second gap to first place. Now you just mentioned it's over 3. So what is the reason that no one is trying to catch the leader right now?
I think that they might think that he can't make it, or he has to do a big fuel save on the last stint. But if you give a guy a big lead and he needs to do a fuel save, I mean, that should allow him an opportunity to crack the throttle a couple times and save on some precious drops. But we
have someone messing up this group now.
Yeah,
Craig Forsyth.
Craig Forsyth. I banged the wall earlier, cut my way through the tri-oval grass, but I am back, and he is back with his teammate, and he wants to go right to the front. Maybe he decided to say, okay, I'm just going to go up there and help you out.
I imagine a swap draft is about to begin right now.
Yep.
Right on cue. There he goes.
Swap draft up, swap draft down.
And no matter how good or bad the swap draft is, that will help getting up to the lead again, because having Miguel up there by himself, he is burning so much fuel and cutting through so much air with no draft whatsoever. These two drivers should lead that pack back up to the front again, even if the tires are a little more worn. What has happened to Casey Povolones? He is out of the car.
And Povolones will retire in 16th position, unfortunately. IndyCar has raced here at Fontana 14 times between 1997 and 2015, including 2 times in 2002 when the IRL ran in March and the kart ran here in November. Of the 14, 9 were 500 milers, 4 were 400 milers, and 1 was a range shortened, actually darkness shortened 440 miles before they built lights here. Lights were installed in 2003. The last race here was in 2015, and it was arguably one of the best IndyCar races you have ever seen, and you should check it out on YouTube immediately following this race, the MAV TV 500. Truly one of the more exciting IndyCar races you will ever see on a super speedway, and that was the last time they were here in 2015. Of course, the world closed course speed record was set here by Gilles LaFerrin back in 2000. Ironically, they were using a track measurement that was a little bit longer than 2 miles. You were using a measurement of 2.029 miles, CART was. And it was the only time CART ever used that measurement. But still, at that measurement, LaFerrin turned a lap of over 240 miles per hour, making him the only driver in the history of IndyCar, period, anywhere, to go over 240 miles per hour as a lap average. 241.428 miles per hour. That record still stands to this day. He set that back 26 years ago. The IndyCar track record, back when IndyCar, the IRL series used to come here, was a little bit more pedestrian, speed of 226.7 set by Alio Castroneves. The fastest 400-mile race was set back here in 2003, set by Sam Hornish when they did a 207.151 mile per hour race. All-time wins leaders here is Sam Hornish, Jimmy Vasser, Adrian Fernandez each have 2, and notable Fernandez is the only driver to have 1 in kart and 1 in the Indy Racing League. Well, they've cut into that lead a little bit, Andrew. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the stats real quick. It was 3 seconds. Now it's 2.5.
I'm not sure if you were on the camera there or not, Gary, but Smetana has had another coming together on the track, this time with Jari Brubacher. Going to turn 1 and 2 made contact, and Smetana got sideways again. Well, last time it was Smetana getting Haisong sideways. This time it was Brubacher. Both cars continue on, so I don't see any damage on either car, but it just shows how wide this track is, and the cars still manage to come together in these corners.
Smetana to the inside of Haisong. This is back for P7. So here is the situation. We are very quickly getting to the next round of pit stops. We're at lap 80. We suspect the round of pit stops to open around lap 90. Your leader by 2.4 seconds over Craig Forsyth. It's Guillermo Miguel. Then there's this second group of 5, and it is Forsyth, Stouffer, Murphy, Wags, and Peterson. And then we have a little bit of a gap, and it goes back to Smetana, Haisong, and Brubacher.
So that gap has come down then. It was over 3 seconds when you're starting to talk about those stats, but we're actually 0.2 down that lap. So I think the swap track is starting to work, and if Miguel is not careful, it could be the battle for the lead on the next run here. So we're talking about the overlays and everything. Let's see if Miguel makes it to lap 90. And if he makes it to lap 90, he should make it to the end of the race. We'll see if his fuel burn is at that right level to do so.
Oh, car in front of, and that is Wags into the wall. We are watching from Eric Peterson. Wags smacks the wall, goes down the racetrack. Appeared to have some damage on his outside ad blocker. A little arrow device there, that little winglet, just on the inside of the, right on the side pod there. And we'll see. We'll get a zoom in on Wags on the outside. There you see. We'll see when he comes around. Does he have damage on that? Well, that's too fast to see.
I don't think he does, actually. I'm starting to wonder if damage is off on this race, Gary.
It was a nice lick. It was a good hit.
Yep, that car could and should have a wrinkle on it, but it does not. And it was kind of the same for Stouffer and for Craig Forsyth for the earlier incidents, but we have clean cars going right now, and that's just a matter of the dirty air. And I was actually taking a look when you were talking the stats before, Gary, about the weather. The wind is coming from the west at a decent clip right now. It's about 9-10 miles per hour from the west, and that could really upset a lot of these cars, especially if dirty air is a multiplier on top of that.
Wind out of the northwest, 11 miles per hour. So the way that this racetrack sits, this is the west end of the racetrack right here, 3 and 4. The east end of the racetrack is 1 and 2. The backstretch runs parallel to the San Gabriel Mountains immediately behind the race course. The front stretch is the southern portion of the race course. Kind of give you some idea. You can it's still on Google Maps, actually. You can check it out. They don't have the demolished version or rescan of it on Google Maps yet. So you can still check it out for the time being on Google Maps, and that is how the track is laid out. So if the wind is coming out of the northwest, then it is going to be probably making them push, making them loose through. Help me out here. You're the weather guy. They're going to make them loose through 3 and 4 and tight off of 1 and 2. Well,
it's kind of it's more of the wind's pushing the car to do something. So if it's pushing the car, the aerodynamics aren't working as well. So it should swing the car up into the wall at the exit of turn 4, which is exactly what's happening right now. Whereas on the turn 1 and 2 side of the track, the wind is pushing the aerodynamics down, giving more downforce, which is what these cars need, and that should give more grip.
There you go. Ask a weather pro and get a weather pro answer. So,
you say that, but I've had to rethink this in my own brain as well, because the wind always goes from and not to.
Miguel, the lead has been cut into by, now it's really cut in. It's this time by, it's going to lap, it's going to fall under a second as Stouffer now 1.08 behind the leader.
Smetana is heavy damage on the front straightaway. No caution, Gary. He hit the back of Matt Wagner and lost the car. That is a huge hit right by where he parked, right by the pace car.
Let's see this again as he is behind Wags. And does he gets there too quick. I think he wanted to pass to the outside, and Wags get a little bit of fade and sends, oh, wow, that is a heck of a hit. And day done. He had to do a tow. He will be able to execute a fast repair. And we have a car on pit road in the background. Not sure who that is. That might be Wags on pit. No, that is Hugo Gallas on pit road. We have another car coming on pit road. That is A.J. Hobson. So they're coming in 89 to 90. So this could be their final stop. Miguel coming to pit road. High Song coming to pit road.
So Miguel made it to 89. That's 28 laps, Gary. He made it to end of lap 61 last time, but I think with the way that those guys were swap drafting, he will be caught, and if he could save the fuel, he will still be in the lead pack. So this may not be so bad for Miguel. Hobson definitely in trouble, though.
Now it is Murphy and Forsyth.
I was noticing that some of the, I believe it's a rule in this league that you have to stay to the right of the dotted line coming down pit road as well, Gary. I think race control is getting a little bit nervy about some of this, so let's watch some more cars that come down the pit road and make sure they're following that rule.
Here comes Forsyth. He peels off. As Murphy's going long, this is going well for Murphy because that's just a less of a fill that he needs to put in the tank. Same thing for Peterson, same thing for Wag, same thing for Yari. They're in a group together.
Oh, Stouffer is pushing Lewis Hayes down down the pit exit. That was so dangerous, Gary. I think Stouffer was unhappy with the speed that he has to come out of the pit exit there, and Stouffer was very impatient, and I think he lost that pack.
Now let's watch as coming off of pit road, Stouffer, and Ravon is racing according to the movie, and that's a little bit of Paul Tracy would be
Stouffer in a nutshell.
Paul Tracy be proud, and he does have a chrome nose on that car.
I don't think it's a coincidence, Gary. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. He is saying, come on, I was racing with these folks for this whole entire time, and now you're just holding me up. Okay, actually, Wagner and Murphy are in the pits right now, so let's see if they gained or lost time on Stouffer, because they were all racing together. Okay, so Stouffer didn't lose too much time because Miguel is in the distance. He's about maybe a little over a second, maybe a second and a half ahead. So even with that, Stouffer is in striking distance here.
So we're watching this battle. Final stop should be over for everybody now. We have still yet to have a caution. I'm going to knock on wood.
Me.
I'm not going to knock on you, but I'm going to knock on the artificial stuff here.
just a long time running joke, Gary. It's okay. So they have definitely caught up to Miguel's draft envelope now, courtesy of Forsyth doing the run down the back straight into turn 3. Guilherme has Hugo Gallas up ahead of him, which is probably hurting that effort. But wow, what a way to cut down that lead. These longtime veteran drivers have managed to find a way to cut that lead down. And I mean, it may come to a point where they're battling a first-time potential winner here, but I don't think that any of these bunch of drivers that are behind are going to let that happen.
And he's not a leader anymore as Stouffer cruises on by. Forsyth cruises on by. Forsyth slides up and lets Hugo know he's there, but Hugo gives him room. Miguel tucks in behind Craig. Here comes Mark Murphy. Here comes Eric Peterson. Actually, Peterson not in the picture. Sorry, that next car behind, that is Smetana, who was among the leaders. Peterson, next car behind him. He'll have to try to run this group down. Smetana currently 2 laps down after that lick and the incident that happened with him and Matt Wagner on the front stretch. So he's trying to just get one of his possible 2 laps back right now, and he sees the leaders in front of him, and he's going to try to do that. But Stouffer, your leader, Forsyth, his teammate, in second. Guilherme Miguel, who's led much of this race, in third. Murphy in fourth. Peterson distant fifth from this group. Now, if Murph does win, it would continue the streak from last season into this season and stop any of the carryover from the 2024 season. So we would still be 10 for 10 if Murph would win here. If we're still continuing the 9 for 9 from last season, then we would start 1 for 1 and we'd still be 10 for 10. But Murph is the last non-repeat winner since the 2024 season, and so he won that final race of that. It was basically 400 or 500 mile races, the Grand Slam, which is a new program that Dark Horse is celebrating also this year. The 4 Grand Slam races, instead of a Triple Crown, they're going to have a Grand Slam. It's going to be Fontana, Michigan, Pocono, and Indianapolis. And if you win all 4 of those, there will be a cash bonus in it for you from P1. So if someone could win the Grand Slam, it's hard enough to win the Triple Crown, but if you could win the Grand Slam, a little cash bonus for you. Here in the Dark Horse Racing Series. Kind of a unique award that no other league really has for a series that goes to Fontana, Michigan, Indianapolis, and Pocono every time they have a season.
Okay, I'm lost already, Gary. They have to win 4 races?
They have to 4 races. They have to win here. They have to win at Michigan. They have to win at Pocono. And they have to win at Indianapolis. It's a Grand Slam now.
Well, I mean, if we went through last season with every different race having a winner, that is going to be quite the prize if they can do that this season, to come away and say, hey, I did not let this whole entire season go by without getting a different winner every race, and I win a cash prize. That's pretty incredible, and I'm really, really happy that we're doing that here at P1. Going back to talking about Murph continuing the trend of the different winners, remember, he was the pole sitter.
Yes.
And at these big ovals, it is definitely very, very difficult to translate a pole position to a win. And we saw Murphy in the first stint drop all the way back to P9 or so. So for him to get back up front now shows how much different modes that he went into this race. He went into a fuel save, let people battle, swap draft, and then, of course, the pit stops got him to where he is right now.
And we are in the window of 20 to go, late here in the running. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Once again, if you are just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of round 1 of 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana for the Dark Horse California 240. We're currently Craig Forsyth, who spent some time doing a little gardening and trimming yard work in the quad and the tri-oval area earlier in this race. He is now your leader. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you miss out on the next race. Next race for us here, the next Sunday race for us here in the Dark Horse Series will be February 1st when the teams and drivers head to Charlotte Motor Speedway I couldn't believe it when I looked this up, for the very first time. So for a series as old as Dark Horse to go to a track for the first time ever is a pretty big deal. So you'll need to check it out. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss it right here on P1. Of course, tonight's California 240 in the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by 40 Racewear. Check out 40's line of made for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. There's one of our cars on the high side right there in the battle for second place and third place. Also, make sure to check out their custom race awards and custom championship rings for your league. You can visit them today at 40racewear.com or click on the link in the description. If you also like what you see and want to join and be a part of the Dark Horse Racing Series, the car is free, the league is free. All you need are the tracks and the drive. So click on the Discord link in the description to get started. And you can join us on the grid when we go to Charlotte for the first time here in 2 weeks.
I'm trying to put myself in Guillermo Miguel's shoes right now and say, wow, I led this whole entire race. I thought I was out here on a Sunday drive just leading everyone. And now I'm sitting behind 3 of the most iconic drivers in this series saying, how do I get back up to that lead again? And it is possible he is considering his fuel tank right now, because he did have a problem on the last run making it the full 30 laps. So he might just be saying, okay, I'll save a little bit of fuel and attack later. But also, you look at that wall of cars ahead and say, how do I get myself back up there again? So I really do think that this will come down to a race of the 3 legendary drivers in this car. But anything is to play for in this next 16 laps. $14 laps, I can count.
No green, white checkers here. No green, white checkers. No gimmicks.
And like we were mentioning early in the broadcast, it's all about the draft. So they have definitely extended their gap to Eric Peterson behind them, who has really kind of fallen off the pace quite a lot here, and he's not even a factor as we speak right now. Him and Yari are attempting to work together, but it's going to be such a big hill to climb in these last handful of laps here to get back up to the front again. But anything can happen. A caution can come out, and then everything can be flipped up on its head. And we haven't seen one yet tonight, thank goodness. We've raced flat out. It's been all about the driver's pace, their fuel save, they're working together, and their pit stops. And that's all we can really ask for in a good race here.
Chris Stouffer won here last time. We raced at Fontana season 8, round 6. Craig Forsyth has won here twice over the history of the Dark Horse Racing Series coming here. Forsyth won in season 6, round 2, and also in the summer series, round 2, a 500-mile race, the only 500-mile race that they've run here. So the first and second have won here before. Miguel has never won here. Mark Murphy, he has never won here either. So if Stouffer wins, the streak is over. If Forsyth wins, the streak is over. If Miguel wins, the streak going back to 2024 continues. If Murphy wins, the 2024 streak stops, but the continuation of 10 races with different winners will continue with 10 for 10 based upon last year's numbers going into this year's numbers. So some things could still happen. We could still see that streak extend for one more race if someone other than Stouffer or Forsyth win. But right now, these two guys are pretty much. We know Stouffer very much is the Pocono whisperer, but he's very much a Fontana whisperer too. And the same thing for Craig Forsyth. He is pretty much a Fontana whisperer. He does very well here, of course, with 2 wins over the course of the Dark Horse Racing Series coming here.
And Gary, remember that both of these drivers started on the back row. Yeah, both of these drivers started on the back row of this race. So if they were to finish 1-2, the 40 guys, that would be such an incredible run back to the top again. Oh, Miguel's
He's
getting ready
racy.
to set himself up for it.
Yeah, he's getting racy. He's like, 10 to go. I'm ready to go. And right now, Murph is being pretty patient. He's just kind of following right now. I would expect as we get under 5 to go. Oh, going up the racetrack, a car in the wall, and it's going to take out Forsythe. And we're going to go under caution. Maybe. No, we're not going to go under caution. But Forsythe's race is done. Guillermo Miguel's race is done. And now it's going to come down between Stouffer and Murphy. But right now, Murphy is on the verge of losing the draft. He is at 5/10 behind the leader. Stouffer still going. We are still going. Green flag, no caution.
Wow, that was incredible, Gary. Like, there was definite contact between Stouffer and Guillermo there, and Forsythe got collected, and we still managed to stay green. What a way to start the season here. And what's incredible about this as well is that Peterson has managed to get himself back into the podium. He wasn't even nearby the whole incident itself.
Right now, battle for the podium between Brubacher and Peterson in 3rd and 4th. They are quite a ways away from those two leaders. They are about 4 seconds away, so they're going to need a caution here. And we are getting very close to the point, Andrew, that we're getting very close to the point in this race that next flag is going to end it. We're not there yet, probably when we get inside of 3 to go. So they're hoping that they can catch a little bit of a break and try to reel in those two leaders. But up front, Mark Murphy has caught Stouffer, and he has picked up the lead. And I told you, if Murph can get up there with 5 to go, the gloves are going to come off, and the gloves are off. Here we go, 5 to go at Fontana.
And both Stouffer and Murphy are bitter rivals dating back to the Area 51 series. They've passed back and forth, leads, wins, everything. And I think both of these drivers want to win over the other one, and they're not on the same team. They're doing everything they can to make sure that they stamp their authority at the start of this dark horse season.
Authority.
So let's see what happens. 4 to go.
And I believe the rules do allow use of the apron coming to the checkered flag. So we might see whoever the leader is, right now that is Murphy, go down to the apron. But there's going to be a lot of momentum on that high side, and Chris is looking for it, and he's using a little bit of banking to help the momentum and get into the draft. Now he pulls out alongside. He's not going to be able to get the lap, but he's going to get right alongside. That's going to be lap led by Murphy. We're now 3 to go, 6 miles here at Fontana, side by side in the 1, and that bottom line is still the OP line at this moment. But can Stouffer maybe pinch Murphy down? Murphy left a little bit of room. Stouffer tried to go for it. Murphy shuts the door at the bottom. They're going to go side by side in the 3 and 4. Andrew, can Stouffer kind of pinch Murphy down a little bit and maybe help his cause, or are we just running out of time to do that right now? Coming to 2 to go.
I think that is exactly what Stouffer is hoping for, to find a little bit of a crack into the gap there. But I also don't want to forget that there is a battle for the podium here with Peterson and Brubacher. They are also doing the same exact battle that Stouffer and Murphy are doing right now. Brubacher has now picked up the podium spot for the first time in 8 or 9 laps. Peterson's not going to want to give that up as we come to the white flag.
Peterson had a breakthrough season last season with a win, and he's looking for another strong start to the season. White flag out this time by. It's going to come down between Murphy and Stouffer here in Fontana. Side by side in the 1, Murphy down low. There you see Stouffer again using the banking, trying to get a run down the backstretch. Murphy goes to the inside. He defends. It goes to the white line, slams the door. Stouffer gets the run. They fade out to the outside wall, going into 3 and 4. Side by side, 2 turns to go, coming to stretch for home. One more time to the checkered flag. Here comes Murphy off the bottom. Stouffer on the high side, coming to the line. It is going to be Murphy by the slimmest of margins. 0.012 of a second.
And Brubacher blocks Peterson coming to the line as well to take that 3rd place spot away from him. Wow. 2 great battles coming to the finish at the start of the season here.
And Brubacher, he's gonna immediately punch out. He's like, I've had enough.
So So we have a 12,000th of a second margin between Murphy and Stouffer, and roughly 600ths between Brubacher and Peterson. I think Brubacher just got the little bit of the run underneath Peterson. He didn't block the bottom as well as he probably should have. Brubacher went right to the apron and got him across the line. If you want to watch that, maybe.
Murphy with the win, and not quite the close. It is the closest, actually. 800ths was the closest. So this is, I believe, that works out to be 1200ths if I know my decimals, and I really don't know my decimals very well. 800ths, 0.080. This is 0.012. I believe that's less. Again, math is hard.
Yes. No, I'll bail you out of this one, Gary. You're correct.
Jari Brubacher comes home in third. Eric Peterson in fourth. You know, we didn't really talk much about him, but say hey, Lewis Hayes comes out of nowhere, one lap down, and he finishes fifth. Just out of nowhere. I mean, good job for Lewis. Go ahead.
I'm wondering what happened. To Jeff Hysong. He was hanging behind Jari and Eric for a little bit, so maybe he had fuel. I would have to imagine it has to do with fuel issues. You have people that were trying their best to make that 30-lap margin. Maybe some people had to fail.
Yeah, we did. We had some people pitting very late. I'm seeing 119 for a driver, coming at 120. But maybe, I think some people maybe had to make a dive down pit road very late in this race. But Matt Wagner comes home in sixth. Miguel, just a rough race for him, led a lot of this race, but he comes home in seventh, and I'm sure he's going to really want that win, and we'll be watching him later this season. Hysong in eighth, Hobson ninth, and Marcamini in 10th. And then we go to the remainder of our field as Anderson Smetana had a real good race until contact there about 75% of the way through. Hugo Gallus took a tour down the grass in the infield as well. Craig Forsythe did the same. Luis Gonzalez Nunez got caught speeding on pit road. I think that kind of ended his race, I believe. And Casey Povolonis with an early retirement in 16th. So that is your 16-car field. We'll get some replays queued up here. We'll be talking to Jari Brubacher first. And we will get back into the coverage here. And we'll check out and see who's available for interview. All right, there is Jari. I'll see if I can grab him and bring him down to our... He's so high, and our channel is so low, so I'm going to try if I can right-click on him and move him. Move to live broadcast. Is he joining? There he is. I got him in here with us. Jari Brubacher. It's been a while, my man. Congratulations, JB P3, edging out one of the boss men here in the league to get that P3 at the end. But a pretty typical race here at Fontana. Give us your take, starting up front and kind of finishing up front, but kind of detached from the top two. He just never really had a chance to run them down, but a good race overall. Is he there? All right, so he might not be there. So we will move him down into the general here, and we'll bring him back very shortly. And we will then bring in Chris Stouffer and get his views on today's race. And here is Chris Stouffer. Yari was not been able to join us, so we'll bring in Chris right now. Chris, congratulations. Another typical Fontana race, I guess. Close finish there at the end. Did you have anything for Murph, or was just whoever had the bottom?
Well, it was hard telling because it wasn't as packy as it normally is. But if I could go back and do it again, I probably would have just stayed behind him and got a run coming off of 4 and tried to make that work a little bit better than I did. But it was a close race nonetheless. It was a lot of fun. Green flag conditions, the whole race, that was good too.
Chris, the name of the game here was the swap draft, and it seemed like in that middle stint there that you were kind of weaving around, wondering why no one was trying to pass you. What exactly do you think was going on there, and did you worry that perhaps you may not actually get that spot back or get yourselves back up to the lead?
Yeah, well, leading before that on pit road, I ran out of fuel coming to my box and kind of slid through. Luckily, had just enough fuel that it fired back up, and I was able to back up, so I didn't have to take a tow, and I would have ruined my race. But yeah, when I was up there, yeah, I was kind of swerving around, kind of like telling the guys, "Come on, let's go. Do you guys want to race for second? Do you want to race for first? What are we doing here?" But I know what they're doing. They're saving fuel, and there at the end of the race, I had to save a little bit, and that could have made a difference too. So, uh, just really, I was kind of running second place the whole night, just the way I was running. So, I get this fitting, I finished there.
Well, Chris, good start to the season. Of course, 4D is one of the presenting sponsors of the Dark Horse Racing Series for Season 9. So, good repping of the sponsor for this one. Any shout-outs, any friends, family, sponsors, anybody want to say hi to before we let you go?
And shout out to the kids. Also 4D Racewear. For sponsoring me and all that good stuff. You guys up here in the booth for coming out, and everybody here in the league. It was a good race tonight.
That is Chris Stouffer finishing second here today by 0.012 as your margin of victory. Chris, we will see you when we head to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Believe it or not, for the first time ever in Dark Horse in 2 weeks. So we'll see you when we get to Charlotte.
All right. Talk to you then.
Yeah. And we'll bring Yari Brubacher up one more time. Yari, you there? You got your ears on?
I think so. Like, my microphone is more or less broken, but if I hold it at a weird angle, it works, it seems. So maybe keep it a bit short before I disappear again.
Oh, you
But I
got
heard
it.
your question.
You got it. So go right ahead with your question, your answers to my question, since I don't have to re-ask. Go right ahead.
So, exactly. Yeah, that was a nice race, but as you said, like, I felt like I could never really get super close to the lead. I led 2 laps, I think, during the pit cycles, but like it was really difficult. And then with the last pit stop, it seemed just like I think it was Mark and I don't know who else it was, but they ran away at the front, I think Chris, and yeah, we just never were able to catch him. But somehow the cautions flew without, or the cautions didn't fly, but the crashes happened. So I somehow ended in the third, and yeah, at the end, I think Eric Peterson and I had the same idea of going to the apron, and luckily he backed out of it. Otherwise, we would have probably been spinning across the start-finish line. But good race overall, and yeah, good start to the season.
Yeah, just very quickly, obviously, we want to get you out of here ASAP. But what are you going to do a full season here? We haven't seen you in quite a bit, so are you going to do a full season, and what are your expectations going forward?
Yeah, I think if I can, I'm doing the entire season. Um, yeah, I think I still need a win in this series. I have like the most lead laps without a win, so I want to change that this season.
That is correct. You 31 starts, no wins, and if you're talking about leading laps, I don't know if I have that number. Laps
Well, I'm going to
led.
say you came to the right place, Yari, because we have a
245.
lot of we have a lot of varying
Yeah,
winners in the series lately. So you came to the right place to win. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, 245 laps you have led, Yari. So 31 starts. This is your I think it's your 32nd start now, but no wins. But I think it's just a matter of time before you get that win. So any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go? Oh, and then we're struggling with the mic again. I'll tell you what, Yari, we will see you at Charlotte. But again, starting off the season in third, I know you're going to be a player, and we'll see more of you as the season goes on. But I'll give you time to get a new microphone if you need one. Talk to you later. That is Yari Brubacher finishing in third with those 4 laps led. I want to refresh my stat page here because I just got the notification that the points have been updated. The points are what you kind of expect them to be after one race. Mark Murphy continues to be the points leader after last season. This is Mark Murphy's 21st career start, and now his 3rd win. We will bring him down into the booth. And I just got to move him to here. And here is Mark Murphy joining us in the booth. And Mark, taking it personally that you didn't get a win in your championship season, starting off this one with a win and defense of your championship. First of all, hopefully it's not a bad sign of things to come. Opposite season, maybe getting the win, not getting the championship. But hey, you can't start off the season any better and a championship defense any better than just by coming in the next race of the season, the first race of the season, and getting a win and doing it at a track that you do so well at here in Fontana.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Christopher and Craig Forsyth and that whole 4D team. They had it. I feel like they had it covered, and it looked like Chris and Jeremy got to racing a little bit too hard and got together. I can't believe it wasn't a caution, but then I looked up and it was just me and Stouffer, and I figured Chris didn't have enough fuel to make it, so I knew he probably was only going to get a shot or two. He was only going to get a shot or two at me, and he took the shot, and we just kind of ran him up the hill going through 3 and 4, and I knew when we come off of 4, he didn't have enough momentum to get by me. If it would have been equal on fuel, I would have run him further up the hill, but didn't need to race it that hard. But this was awesome race. This race like a big Kansas, man. You had to really focus on what you were doing with the right front and save your stuff and not burn your tires up, but you also had to save fuel because the thing would only do 28 laps flat out, and it only go 28 flat out, but then you needed to do 30 lap runs, and so I was just trying to make it to the end and get to 28 to go and have at it, and I got there, and I was one of the few that got there, so that's a change. Usually I'm burning up fuel, but when you go a lap longer than Craig Forsyth, I guess you're doing something right in the fuel department.
Well, so I guess the thing was we watched you take the pole, drop back, and everything. So I guess that answers that question of managing to get to 30 laps. You could do a 3-stopper there, but you did kind of turn around a typical a curse of getting the pole position at a big speedway and then not converting it to a win. So even without the crash there up front between Craig and Guillermo, did you think that there was a way that you could get yourself back up there again, or was it just going to be the opposite effect of what Stouffer had with you, where you'd be stuck behind and not able to really slide in underneath?
Well, I knew Jeremy wasn't going to be a factor because he was 3 or 4 laps short of me on fuel. And so I knew that there was no way, as fast as we were running, that he was going to make it to the end. I knew that Chris was going to be iffy, if not going to make it at that speed, and I knew Craig was probably the one that I had to contend with. So I wasn't really concerned about Jeremy at all. I just kind of pretended like he wasn't there in terms of what I needed to do for the final shootout. And of course, Craig and Chris being teammates, you have to understand they're going to be working together, but also I was quite content to ride third until it came down to the last lap or two, because again, Chris was a lot shorter than me on fuel, and so with the way they were drafting, I didn't think he was going to be able to defend at the end either. Um, so it was really, I was preparing to race Craig, to be honest, and then there was unfortunately the contact with him and Jeremy, and it left Chris and I drafted past him. I called him on the radio and asked him if he had enough fuel. Just trying to be nice. I'd be happy to tow him home if I needed to. And he said no, he wanted to race for it, but I knew he was short and he wasn't going to have enough to really make but a charge or two. So that made it fairly easy at the end, or easier than it normally would have been, I guess. It wasn't easy.
Mark, starting off the defense of your title from a season ago, best way, like I said, with a win. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone I want to say hi to. You had a pretty big weekend with the 24 as well, so go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to Black Magic Studios, Andy Dunwoody, everybody over there, Matt Wagner, Kendall Paul, and James Hodgson. We drove Cadillac in the 24, and we led a little bit. We wound up finishing third, so we got a podium. Congratulations to the other Black Magic Studios team. They came home second in their 24. So as a team there, we put 2 cars on the podium, and that's pretty impressive. I got to thank everybody at the Alliance, Indy Alliance Racing, Satellite Racing, Rogue Racing. Couldn't ask for a better bunch of teammates and a better bunch of friends. Everybody at Admin Box. If you're a race controller, go over to adminbox.com. Get yourself an admin box. It makes race control pretty easy. Touch of a button instead of having to type those commands. Got to thank everybody at P1 Broadcasting, especially my Area 51 broadcast partner, Andrew Wood. I don't know. Was that him in the chat that said he was having microphone issues?
Yes.
Was that?
Yes.
Was that what he was probably pleading microphone issues because he didn't want to have to call me home up front. But it's just a lot of fun, man. Doing this is a lot of fun.
You'll hear it.
We gotta, doing this is a lot of fun, and I'm sure I'm leaving Mark Cohn and enjoy driving. I got to thank Eric Peterson and everybody on his team for putting this series on. It's a fun series, a fun car. So we enjoy it, and we'll be back. And yeah, go get some 4D Racewear gloves too, man.
All right, Mark, congratulations. We're just kind of showing the margin of victory on the screen here. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when we go to Charlotte for the first time.
Yeah, man. I do want to point out that this is the what you said it was the closest. I think it might be the third closest. There was one that was .008, and then Forsyth and I had the .0002 at Indianapolis.
Oh no, we're not talking. We're just talking closest here. Not talking. Overall, yeah. So Nick Wagner beat Schaus in round 2, season 3 by 0.08. And then before that, there really wasn't anything close here. I was kind of surprised when I was looking at the stats. It was like 0.3 of a second was actually the next closest finish, and it was a tie between Stouffer over Kirchenbauer in season 8 and Malechka over De Groot in season 4. They were both identical, but this finish, I believe, becomes the closer of all the finishes here for the Dark Horse Series at Fontana. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean it looked close. I mean, my dad I've already got my flurry of text messages. He said cut that one a little close, didn't you? I said that was a regular landslide, man. So we'll take it. But Gary, Andrew, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Keep going fast and having fun, boys.
All right, we'll see you on Monday night in the Open Series at 7 o'clock. Mark Murphy, winner, starting off the championship in the best way possible, winning again. Here we see him, and we'll see you in a week or a couple weeks when we go to California or go to Charlotte. All right, Andrew, there's the margin of victory up on the screen there. Everyone gets to see that. So, thoughts here at Fontana. We got, like I said, history really hasn't shown us the typical Fontana race, and Fontana finally delivered kind of that typical Fontana race today with kind of a photo finish, as we expect here, regardless if it's the DW12, the IR05, or the IR18. We got what we normally get here is a really close finish, and we started off the season, and in terms of starting off the season strong, if we continue to streak from last season, because Mark never won last season, so we're going into this season now 10 for 10, instead of 10 for 10 coming in from 2024. So we could still look for 11 for 11 when we go to Charlotte. But Mark gets the monkey off his back. He won last season without a win. Now he's got a win. The hard part's done, right?
Yeah, you definitely paved the way for how the season is supposed to go by getting a win off the start here. And we were talking earlier on in the season about how, or earlier on in the race, about how you have to set the pace, right? Or set the tone for how things go. And I think Mark has done that here. So we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. It's kind of a long season. Hopefully we're in store for some more race winners and everything. So we'll get things going here kind of fast.
All right, let's get everyone back their Sunday nights to start the week. But hey, Dark Horse is back, the longest running, continuous running DW12 series on iRacing, and we're back again for season 9, and it's so good to be back after a long off season. Hope everyone enjoyed tonight's race. Let's get on out of here and give them back their evening, shall we? So that's going to do it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana for the Dark Horse California 240. Mark Murphy with the win by 0.012. That is your margin of victory over Christopher. And Jari Brubacher comes home in third in all three of these drivers. Best way possible to start the season, getting on that podium. Join Andrew and myself again February 1st when the Dark Horse Racing DW12 Series presented by 4D Racewear heads to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the very first time in series history. Start time is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, it's an all-new season, so for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you got to hit the bell for weekly reminders to miss on more P1's other iRacing programming, including coverage of our Open Wheel Tuesday oval double headers, starting with LGN and myself and Justin Petschauer with the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series top split at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, followed immediately by the Indy Next Oval Series top split with Jacob Collins and Sophie Connell. If you like iRacing open wheel oval racing, and we know you do if you're watching tonight, then make P1 your home on Tuesday nights right here on YouTube. Tonight's race from here at Fontana and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com. And starting now, you can now also get race awards and custom rings, championship rings for your own leagues. So again, check them out at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the stream description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook. You can follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about what we do here at P1, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree. Hey, you can check those out in the description as well. So for Andrew Wood, everyone here at the Dark Horse Series and 4D Racewear, I'm Gary Gotzo saying all thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us right here again, February 1st in Charlotte for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear right here on P1. Good night, everybody, and go Hoosiers, beat Miami.